on, everybody? What is going on? It is your boy Darian coming to you live with another video. It is the Spotlight Raiders Talk. Shout out to all the subscribers that have subscribed to the YouTube page. And this is your first time ever being at our YouTube page. I would suggest that y'all subscribe and hit that bell button to get the latest news and all Raiders news. But we're back here with another Raiders video. In this video, we'll be talking about the Raiders offense, and we have 5 questions that the Las Vegas Raiders offense is entering when it comes to the year of 2020. Extra motivation for Derek Carr. Now, Derek Carr is coming off of a 2019 season in which he recorded a career highs in completion percentage with 70.4 and passing yards with 4,054 yards, while throwing just only 8 interceptions, and that is second fewest in a season for his career. Now, with the 2 years that John Gruden's system, you have to say that his back pocket is Carr to be, the prime to make sure this offense gets to the next level in Vegas. And that is a belief. But if not for the new additions for Henry Ruggs, perhaps, because Carr is a QB1 at his position, it perhaps, it definitely helped him that he can remember from the 2016 season. Now, knowing that we did bring in Marcus Mariota, by far is going to be the most skilled backup for Derek Carr within the career that he had with the Raiders. And despite Mariota being adamant that this is Carr's team. Now, don't expect the chatter of a quarterback to switch to die down during this season whatsoever. If anything, that should give Carr an extra bit of motivation and a different gear, maybe to, reminisce on the MVP season, from 2016. The next one is, in my personal opinion, is keeping Josh Jacobs healthy. Now, the Raiders hit the mark of drafting Josh Jacobs in a consensus choice for Offensive Rookie of the Year, despite of what the accolades may say. Nonetheless, Jacobs proved in his 1 year that he is ready in that conversation for among the top running backs in the league. That is a fact as well. Need we remind you what happened in 13 game appearances, which he played with a fractured shoulder? Increasing in those games in the 13 out of the 17 seasons, which he might as well say he played a full season, is the ultimate goal in year 2. He wants to play all 17 games. And this is the reason why. Because Las Vegas did re-sign Jalen Richard to help in the passing game, as well as drafting Lynn Bowden Jr. as a versatile player with experience in the backfield. Now, keeping Josh Jacobs fresh and healthy for the long term and hopefully for a playoff appearance, it is important in 2020 that we achieve if we require a combination of keeping Jacobs' workload consistent and aligning him with Richard and Bowden and keeping it chipping as well. So for Josh Jacobs, you really want to keep him fresh. You don't want him to have like 400 carries like Derrick Henry is actually getting, and you really don't want to give that to him. So in my personal opinion, yes, Lynn Bowden Jr. is there. Yes, Jalen Richard is there. Now he could definitely get some rest while those guys get some touches in 2020. Darren Waller finding the end zone. Now, Darren Waller proved that he's one of the best stories for the Raiders last season and arguably one of the best stories all in football. His turnaround was definitely profound by the impact of his production on the field. And the latter resulted in him being one of the best tight ends in the NFL with 90 receptions, 1,445 yards, and Las Vegas has a stud on their hands. The incredible amount of yards has he accumulated resulted in just 3 touchdowns in 2019. Even though there are factors at play, namely the factors are defensive and, get to go that Waller is a primary threat and a number 1, thus reacted to the record according to the coverage. That should change in 2020. Now, with the addition weapons and speed on the outside more than later, combined with a premier running back in Josh Jacobs, it will likely to see the effects of Waller's opportunities and hopefully resulting in more looks in the end zone, especially in red zone situations. Now, the receivers from weakness to strength. Now, the Raiders are ranking 9th in total passing yards in 2019. It is a significant accomplishment, even given the rotation of pieces at the receiver position after Antonio Brown combusted Las Vegas and saw players like J.J. Nelson and Ryan Grant exit, while others like Zay Jones were brought in via trade. And the number of new faces at wideout seems to vary on a weekly basis. that changes in 2020 in my personal opinion, where free agency brought in depth from Nelson Aguilar and the draft that brought literally definition of the speed in Henry Ruggs III along with Brian Edwards. Combining the return third down machine in Hunter Renfrow, the receiver group looks solid as it ever been. Now, the Raiders ranked 9th in total passing and just 22nd in passing touchdowns in what we may have been a weakness last season. A key development to watch will be if the receivers can turn the corner as a whole and making the position strength better in Las Vegas. And last but not least, will the offensive line hold up? Now, the efficiency of the passing game and the production in the backfield so much rides on the stability of the offensive line, especially up front. It is the reason why the Las Vegas Raiders is investing heavily in like Rodney Hudson, Richie Incognito, Trent Brown, and Colton Miller. When the line is healthy, they're arguably the best in football. Much like keeping Josh Jacobs fresh throughout the season, this is the same goal for the offensive line. Injuries are part of the game, but the elite teams weather the storm and persevere. For the Las Vegas Raiders offense to be clicking on all cylinders, that lineup has to do their best to be able to suit up every single Sunday. Now, Rodney Hudson only allowed 3 pressures out of 509 pass blocking snaps in 2019, and Richie Incognito only allowed 9 pressures out of 414 snaps. That is per to Pro Football Focus. So PFF ranked the Raiders offensive line in the middle of the pack, but in 2020, the question lies whether they're healthy or they could prove at the top of the pack of all of football. Now, what do I really have to say about our offense is that we did get a lot of weapons for Derek Carr, and we did bring in some other running backs for Derek Carr as well. But like I said, and like the last but not least with the last one that was said was the offensive line. Can that offensive line definitely stay there for us, knowing the fact that the Raiders struggled with our Raiders offensive line being healthy? So with my personal opinion and what I see is that if that offensive line can stay healthy, everything else around it is going to be great. Even though they didn't mention Tyrell Williams in this situation here, but you know, weakness to strength, we still have a good amount of receivers that Carr could get the ball to. Now we just got to get, Darren Waller in the end zone. We got to get sure we get receivers in the end zone, even running backs in the end zone, but it's only one football, y'all. There's only one football. So at the end of the day, I feel like we'll be great in 2020. I feel like everything will be fine. But if injuries happen. That's just my personal opinion. That's the game of football, and that's the life that we chose to play or be analysts or whatever you have in your career. So at the end of the day, y'all, these are the 5 questions that the Raiders have entering the 2020 NFL season. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what you think. Make sure y'all smash that like button, comment on this video, and let me know your opinions as well. And make sure y'all subscribe and hit that notification bell so you would not miss a video at all. And I will see y'all in the next video.